Daniel.
Adam.
Jackson.
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 Adam and Dan, unrelated, Jackson's talking.
How are you?
How are you?
I'm all right. I feel like I should be in a rocking chair. Because right now, Daniel and I are sitting in the sunroom of my recently purchased house. And it's quite lovely. It's nice and cool. There's a breeze. We're getting some fresh air. Not much sun, but that's just the orientation of the house. But it is quite pleasant. You can imagine it's like a porch, but with a roof. A roofed porch.
A rude porch. I have a gripe about the Australian sun, if I might.
Fucking Australian sun. I think you're like absolutely right. I think the Australian sun has got off too easy for too long, and it's time for Daniel Jackson to set the record straight.
All right. So I was walking outdoors not too long ago, which is something every now and then I'll treat myself to it.
You'll treat yourself to a walk. Is that what you said?
Yeah. To
You're
going
like,
outside.
Oh, Daniel, you've done all your homework. Here's a little treat for you.
Walkies! Let me out, let me out, let me out. I was actually walking around a, what are they called? A market.
Oh, lovely.
Well, it was to begin with.
Uh-oh.
Until I realised I'd forgotten my wide-brimmed hat.
Because you're a cowboy.
That's right.
Or a bushranger.
Well, I had on the chaps. Not much else.
Chaps.
Yeah, that's right. So that was part of the problem, though, because then as we're walking along, I could feel myself roasting.
Right.
And I've kind of figured out that any more than half an hour in the sun, and I start burning, and
Yeah.
it sucks.
Well, hang on. What type of market were you walking in?
A outdoor market.
So the kind of market that might have sold wide-brimmed hats?
In fact, they did.
And did you buy one?
No, because I didn't want a second wide-brimmed hat.
What about...
we did go and get some sunscreen
Well,
from
that's
the
what
shop.
I was about to say then. Yeah, because, I mean, I find it only lasts, like, about half an hour. And that's where I get into trouble, because I put on sunscreen and then, like, 2 hours later I'm burnt because it just wears off me. But, like, sunscreen is amazing because I find... Do you find this? When you put on sunscreen, the sun feels less hot?
No. I don't know. No.
Well, actually, no, that would make sense because if your skin is kind of burning, it would produce feelable heat, wouldn't it? In a small dose, but, you know, enough to feel it. So the sun might be the same amount of heat, but if your skin's not burning, you wouldn't feel it as hot.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
But anyway, that's what I feel. I feel once I put on sunscreen, I can wander around and everything's better. Everything. So I've got my sunglasses. I don't need a hat. I've got my sunglasses, got my sunscreen. I put some sunscreen in the part of my hair, which I've now learned is a nice little technique.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah.
This sounds kind of kinky.
It vaguely looks like secretions or bird shit, but you know what? For peace of mind, it's worth it.
You're like the bearded fellow, the brown wizard in what was it? The Hobbit.
The Hobbit. The one that liked all the little birds and animals.
That's right, and let them nest in his hair.
Yeah.
So much so that there was just a stream, a frozen waterfall of bird shit through one side of his beard.
Yeah, that was nice. That made the movie for you, didn't it?
That was a big enjoyment. Except I was telling you just before the show when we were discussing the hobby bit that I wanted that acknowledged because no one was pointing out to this guy, go for a wash. I mean, it was mentioned that he was a bit like eccentric,
he
and
was.
everyone's like, oh, that guy.
So you wanted like Bilbo Baggins to just be like, you know, pointing to the side of his face, kind of nonchalantly, just like, hey, just
You've
got a little something.
You've got some, yeah.
Or just like Gandalf was like, we must go through the pass through Mirkwood and. Is that shit on your face?
It isn't. Well, allow me.
Zing! He's called the Brown Wizard, this guy.
He is. Or perhaps it would have been fun to as this brown wizard is tripping around or going on his little
on his
cart.
thing pulled by rabbits, by the way.
Very fast rabbits.
I didn't like that scene. Anyway, go on.
I would like to see him fall off, and the audience is thinking, oh, has he hurt himself? and he stands up, dusts himself off, and looks at his beard. Oh, no, I've snapped off the lower part of my beard.
Because it's crystallized.
Yes.
Oh, dear.
So,
Do you know, by the way, the guy that played the Brown Wizard was one of the Doctor Who's.
in recent times?
Not in recent times, in the 80s.
Really?
Doctor Who was great in the 80s because it tried to become hip and cool, and it even changed its symbol, and it was kind of neon light / graffiti style Doctor Who logo. It was very funny.
Wow.
But he was a good doctor. He was eccentric like all the rest of the Doctor Who's are.
Did he happen to wear one of those... What are those T-shirts that you could put your hand on and they would change colour?
Hypercolor.
Hypercolor.
No, he didn't, but I'm sure one of the episodes would have had it.
How are those still not a thing?
Well, I'm sure
Because they're still cool, right?
they're still cool.
Like, it's still amazing that you can put your hand on a T-shirt and it will change shape where you put your hand. It will change colour, sorry.
Yeah, well...
Isn't that cool?
Could that be awful? Because it would be heat, right?
Yeah.
So you'd be...
Go for a run?
You go for a run and you just... Or not even, if you just happen to be like a nervous guy, all your sweat stains would be not even amplified, but look like toxic radiation under your arms. Imagine that. You're wearing a pink T-shirt with fluoro green underarm sweat stains.
That'd be amazing. And I also think perhaps they haven't been continued on because they discovered that the material they were using was somehow toxic to humans.
Well, that would make sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So literally toxic in both senses. But if they made pants... You know, I mean, the joke sort of writes itself in that instance. Oh, baby, I'm changing colour. I'm hot for you.
I wonder if ladies could have that and like kind of like baboons' butts. You would kind of learn if the woman was into you because her pants would go bright red and like access all areas.
I've got the pass on. Apparently, I can access all areas.
That's right.
I thought you meant if a lady was sitting down or anybody was sitting down. Obviously, that's going to heat up the pants. So when they stand up...
it's like a big stain of...
Well, I wasn't thinking stain, but yeah, like a big stain. Like just big red ass cheeks.
Wow.
That'd be... I don't know where that would... who would actually wear those in earnest. Hipsters. I went to a gig not too long ago, and the lead singer from this band... is like full-on Brunswick hipster. I assume. I'm not too au fait with that scene.
What was the outfit?
Okay, so the outfit the part of it that makes me giggle was that she wasn't wearing a bra, Adam.
Wait a minute. Was she nudicid?
No, not quite.
Okay.
She had a very loose singlet on, no bra.
And was there nipplage?
Oh, a little, but not enough to
titillate.
To stare. Not enough that I stared the entire time like a schoolboy. But she also has one of those haircuts.
Yes.
Where it's a straight across fringe,
yes.
short fringe. One side of the head is shaved.
Right.
So she was shaved. And even that shaved area, I think, was tattooed.
Oh.
Yeah. So there's all this sort of thing going on.
And you were going off, yeah.
And there was another lady in the audience who had the exact same haircut, which I thought, isn't that awkward?
A bit of a fanboy, maybe.
Is that a fangirl? But maybe, but I think that's just, it's in at the moment, in that area of Melbourne.
I see.
And I was wondering, as I'm watching the music in the downtime for my brain, I was wondering, is that awkward for her to have... If they walk into each other, acknowledge each other, see each other, is it like, oh, you've got on the same dress as I do, this is awkward? Or is it like two people driving past each other on the road, driving mini miners, and they sort of beep, beep, and like high five each other out the window as they drive past?
Well, I don't have that much experience in that, but I do remember when I was in high school, it used to be that with the girls, even with the guys, but that goes back to primary school. Like, with the guys in primary school, haircuts would go through fads. Like, everyone would start getting spikes. and then everyone would start getting undercuts. And then in high school, the guys didn't do it so much, but the girls did. And I remember there were very specific styles of haircut and the way they'd wear their hair. And it would go through phases, and maybe one girl would get it, and then like 3 or 4 others would get the same one. And then that would change, and so on and so on. So I think in that situation, it's perfect for everyone. Because for the singer, she sees this girl and she's like, hey, and she might think it's a fangirl. Might even take her off on stage. For the girl...
In a hot way?
No,
Lesbian way?
Just in a come up here, we'll high five and you can sing along. For the girl in the audience, she's the coolest kid at the party. You know, like she looks like the singer. It's like they both are in the secret club of haircut. If they were to meet on the street, maybe it would be a bit different. Maybe there would be a bit more awkwardness. But at that time,
it's a compliment.
It's a compliment, and it's the perfect thing for everyone involved.
Well, it was kind of bizarre. Standing. So this gig was at the rooftop of the Evelyn. So it was outdoors, nice sunny day, and looking around, it was just this sea of hipsters, and it was incredible. Actually, it reminds. I don't know if I'm telling tales out of school here, but a mate of mine was involved in, let's say, an advertisement of some sort.
Okay, so he's in an ad.
He was helping produce this ad.
Okay,
and there was a lot of hipsters in this ad, required to be in this ad.
What was the ad? Just tell me the ad.
No, I don't know if this is like... So... right? Wink, wink. Wink, wink. It doesn't matter. It doesn't add to the
condoms.
The story. Condoms. So the casting agent obviously somehow put out that they needed a lot of these hipster people.
Right.
And apparently when all these extras rocked up into the building, into the room, they all sort of looked around, and my mate noticed that there was sort of a bit of a, hang on, what's going on here? We all sort of look the same. As in, they were like, are they going to line us up and like shoot us or something? Or like, what's going on? What's going on? And it was kind of taking the piss out of them, the ad.
Well, that's what I was about to ask, but surely wouldn't they have known that would have happened if they read an ad saying seeking hipsters?
Oh, it doesn't happen that way, does it, though? Because say you're with an agent, your agent says, hey, we've got this shoot, can you do this shoot? And you're like, yeah, I'll be there.
So I guess it would be the equivalent of like if you were a girl and the agent said, oh, yeah, you're casting for this show, go on. And the agent didn't tell the girl that it was like a prostitute. And
she rocks up
and says, Jesus, there's a lot of sluts in this room.
Yeah, she rocks up in her normal slutty clothing.
Yes.
She doesn't think it's slutty.
No.
She hasn't thought about it in that way.
Exactly, yes.
But then everyone else is dressed the same, and she's thinking, and it dawns on her.
Yes, I get you now.
And so I would love to know, I should have asked, I probably never would have had the courage at this gig to ask one of these hipsters, are you a hipster? That would be worse to ask like that.
Get out of here, Gramps.
Would they punch me? Or I'm not sure. Because are they looking around going, I feel at home?
First of all,
These are my
hipsters
people.
would never punch you. They wouldn't. Hipsters can't punch. They just can't punch.
They can't punch.
Yeah.
That's
a genetic defect of the hipster race. They can't punch.
They could wheel their fixie bike into my chins.
That's true. That is true. They could do that.
Because I love when I catch up with my younger sister who lives around that area. I now love bringing up the word hipster and just referring to different people as hipsters.
Yeah.
Different celebrities or different people we know. Because it just frustrates the shit out of her because she hates these labels and all that kind of thing.
I think with hipsters, isn't one of the things that kind of typify a stereotypical hipster is their kind of disaffected nature anyway, so they wouldn't want to be labelled either, so they might take it as an offence.
Yeah, probably.
But at the same time, I don't know, it's a tricky one. How do you join... Oh, I shouldn't say join though, should I? How is it that you're dressing the same as other people yet not wanting to acknowledge that you're part of like a trend? Yeah, absolutely.
It is a trend, right? And is this only a Melbourne trend?
I don't think so. No. I think
really,
I think it's international. I think you've got American Hipsters and
Right.
and all that. But maybe we've forged ahead with our own Brunswick
Brand?
Street style. Yeah,
I would like to think so.
that'd be nice because we've got the Melbourne Shuffle. Have you ever done the Melbourne Shuffle, Daniel?
I haven't.
Somebody tried to teach me once. It's difficult. I can't do it.
I think I've seen a bit of this on the U-Boobs.
Ah, yes.
Are you able to describe it easily?
It's just like a kind of a lazy man's Running Man or something. I don't know. I can't do it. And going around to schools, school kids can do it. Like the older ones. The younger ones just do Gangnam Style, but the older ones, they know a little bit about the Melbourne Shuffle. You can get YouTube tutorials and all that. But surely, I mean, isn't that as well just as bad? Like, I don't know because I don't really go to places where people would dance the Melbourne Shuffle. But like, I don't know. Like, is there any difference between doing the Melbourne Shuffle and doing the Macarena? Like,
Oh, there's so much difference.
but like, why don't you just do your own dance move?
Why don't you wear your own style of clothing?
Exactly. Exactly, Daniel Jackson. You've nailed it. Why do all the wizards have to have the pointy hats?
Why do all chefs wear the same chef hats?
Well, there's
that
a reason
matter.
for that.
Why?
Well,
So you can tell who's the chef.
No. The long chef hat with the puffy thing on the top is actually for cooling because you got the heat on your enclosed head. The heat rises and fills up the little puffy thing up top, so it doesn't kind of make your head hot.
And that's how they fly.
It's like a balloon in up.
Because
That's where you hide the rat from Ratatouille.
Because that's where they wear hats to keep their hair
Hair out of the food.
out of the food.
But then putting a hat on and working with food, your head gets hot. So
in the hot
they've-
kitchen.
Exactly. So they've given you a hat with an air pocket. So the air can dissipate.
So, well, back to the hipster thing.
Yes.
Unless you wanted to.
No.
No.
I'm done.
I'm spent.
I'm spent.
So I am very curious about this whole joining the hipster fashion or movement or just dressing like one.
Well,
How does this come about? It's isn't it like an adult version of teenagers? Like teenagers, you read in psychology books. They go through stages and steps, and one of those is joining groups to belong and identify as they try and discover their own sort of personalities, and so they'll gravitate towards one thing. And it's nice to be accepted and wanted in a group as well. I think that's part of it.
I think it's not the case with hipsters. I think it would be the case with the emos that sit at Flinders Street Station or something. But I think it's a little bit more simplest explanation going on. I think it's literally just... Well, look, I can only speak for myself, right? I love leather jackets. And if I see somebody walking past with a leather jacket, I go, that's a really good one. He's making that work. Yeah. And if
Tight ass as well.
And if I see a leather jacket, I don't buy any anymore because I've got like 12, but I would get that style. So I think it's on a very base level, just like I see that person wearing that and he looks good in those clothes, so I'm going to try and emulate it that way to look good. It's really sad actually because I have never and will never wear skinny jeans. Hate them. Hate them.
Why, Adam? Why?
I think they're ridiculous. I think they look terrible.
Yeah.
I think you shouldn't have to spend 10 minutes putting pants on in the morning.
But it's excitement for foreplay when you're getting them off.
Half the time they don't even come on. You're leaving half your ass waving in the breeze. But anyway,
Yeah.
that's just me. But there's a lot of cultural imprinting going on just by living your life. And for the first time, because I would love, because they don't really make them that much anymore, like kind of jeans that kind of flare at the bottom. A little bit of flare.
I used to love that, yep.
Yeah. So I buy bootcut jeans because they've got ever so slightly flared. And for the first time the other week, I looked at my kind of flary jeans in the mirror and thought, you know what? They're not really working. And nothing's changed between now and 5 years ago when I looked at them and they go, yeah, awesome. But it's a little bit of that cultural imprinting going on just by living my life. And I will never wear the skinny jeans. And I'm making that statement now, but I might have to go to straight jeans at some point. And that's just walking around seeing people saying, oh, they look pretty good. Their ensemble is pretty good. Oh, that guy's got a cool hat. Oh, if I find a hat like that, I'll wear that. You know, vests. Oh, I hated vests, but he makes it look good. So I think that's how those kind of fashions work. I think there is a difference between the kind of fashion of the hipsters and the whole persona of the goths and the emos.
Interesting. You know, just as a side but related note, I had the exact same thing with my flared pants.
Oh, it's tragic, isn't it?
I bought one pair of jeans that they're actually great because they look like jeans, but they've got this kind of stretchy material, so I can sit cross-legged. That's one of the reasons I hated wearing jeans all the way before 2004. Very specific, because that's when I started going out with someone that's like, let's go shopping and buy some clothes that look good.
Oh, good,
right?
Good. What? Maybe I'll get to that in a second. Go on.
Yeah. And so I bought these stretchy jeans, and they were comfortable to wear, and I could wear them however I liked. I could wear them wherever I wanted. So I was trying to do a Dr. Seuss thing, but I lost the rhyme.
I could wear it in a park. I could wear it on an arc.
There you go.
I could wear them and they'd stretch. I would wear them. They won't retch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I love these jeans, and I had the same thing. Looking back at these other jeans, I'm like, they sort of flare out a bit, and that's. I think I might look like a bit of a try-hard.
Yeah, isn't it tragic?
Or like just a bit sort of dated. But then again, I shouldn't care what other people think.
You shouldn't care, and you should. But
I'm a hipster.
But no, it's not just that you shouldn't care what people think, because it's changed how you think. It's not even you're going against the norm or going to the norm. It's like the cultural imprinting has actually made you think, you know what, they look pretty bad.
That's terrible.
Well,
I'm just one of the sheep, Adam.
But also, but there's so much going on. I said going on twice then.
I like it. Dr. Adam.
Yeah. I was in a shop, this was years ago now, but I always remember it. It was about the time when, not hipsters, what would they be, I guess, preppies?
Homeless people.
I mean, I don't want to typify too much, but I'll call them preppies for the sake of it. We're wearing light pink and salmon-coloured polo shirts.
Oh, kill me now.
Exactly. But
Please,
here's the thing.
Let's get back to that.
I was shopping for clothes and I couldn't find anything as usual because I can never find anything I really like. And the chick behind the counter was talking to the chick stacking the racks. And they were talking about one of their boyfriends and
my boyfriend.
And she was, what did she say? She was basically saying, yeah, I'm going to go and buy him some pink polo shirts. And the other one was like, oh, great, yeah, they look fantastic. I should buy them for my boyfriend as well. And it dawned on me that the fashion trends are also so determined by who's shagging you at the time or who you want to shag you.
Yes.
Isn't that tragic? Well, it's not. It's the same, peacocking and all that. But, like, I just think the girls are making some bad decisions through history sometimes, Pink polo shirts. You dropped the ball there, ladies.
Yeah, absolutely. Was that around 2006 or so?
Something like that, yeah.
I hated, I would walk into your typical shops at your big, what are they called? Shopping centres. And it was painful for me. That budgie yellow bullshit and that salmon crap. It was just everywhere, on every rack, in every store. And I thought, this is an abomination, and I cannot wait until this passes, because this is making me physically ill.
You've got to ride it out, your flares and your T-shirts, until the phase passes. But you've just hit on the other thing that I think is a little bit more than it used to be, but maybe I just do more shopping than I ever did before. And it might also explain why everyone looks the same. If you go to a clothes shop, you will find this, and this, and this, and this. If you go to another clothes shop, you'll find maybe different brands, but the exact same stuff. So it's kind of like the Superman syndrome now. You can only find the certain outfits or variations thereof. Unless you go to like a niche store, which is where you'll find, the goths and the emos and all that. Or unless you go to an op shop, which is possibly where a lot of the hipsters are shopping for your vintage stuff.
For your cardigan.
For your grandpa hat, yes. But yeah, I mean, maybe that's it as well. Maybe that's why everyone's kind of gravitating to certain styles. Maybe it's not so much that people are making a concerted effort, but maybe it's just a marketing thing now.
Just buying what's on the rack.
What's on the rack, and they can't go anywhere else. Like,
Yeah.
if you go to the shopping mall and you go to 7 shops and they've all got the same thing, but you need to buy your pants and your t-shirts, you're going to be wearing pink, baby.
Yep. And I avoided buying clothes around that time. I was like, nah, I'm just riding out this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles t-shirt from grade 6.
Yes, which is now probably well in fashion again.
Yes.
Bring it out. Get maybe a vest to go over the top and some,
Yeah. I have observed sort of over the years, I've thought about what clothes I'm buying and what I wear and what I like to wear. And I think a little bit proudly, just in my own mind, thought, all these fashions are happening around me, and here I am staying true to what I like, buying what I like, not what's in fashion.
Yes.
And whether person A and B thinks that just looks shit and weird or dated, I'm staying true to myself to a degree.
Yeah.
And I like that because ultimately I like bright colors because they make me feel good.
Right.
And I don't know, it just feels right to wear that sort of thing. I don't wear them all the time, but I do dress according to what feels like the right sort of color that I have on the day.
I would love people. I'm almost the opposite. Like, I'm the opposite, but I'm an arrogant version of the opposite. Because I would actually love somebody to just go, come with me, Adam. I'm going to buy everything that's going to look good on you. And I want, because it's the same with haircuts. So I go in to get a haircut and they say, what do you want your hair to look like? And I go, I don't know. I want them to say, I want to ask them. I never do because I pay like $10 for a haircut. So I've got no right to ask for anything. But I want them to say, I'm going to give you the haircut that will make you look the best. And the same with clothes. I would love somebody to say, I'm going to take you shopping and I'm going to buy all the things that are going to make you look good. But I say arrogant because people have tried to do that in the past and I go, what the fuck is this? I'm not wearing these fucking skinny jeans. Get them out of here. What's that shirt? No way. So it all falls apart. But I would love to maybe one day lose my arrogance and just say, let's see, and see if it changes my life. Like in all those, there used to be Queer Eye, but then you've also got like all those English shows where they take like an ugly person and put new clothes on them, and it's like, mutton dressed as lamb, and that's the TV show.
So
makeover, extreme makeover.
Would you feel if you had somebody dress you up and say that they did happen to choose whatever was in fashion at the time, including skinny jeans?
Yes.
When you wake up in the morning and you go to put on these clothes and you cannot wear your old clothes.
Yes.
Would you feel like, would part of your soul feel like it's dead? Would you feel that you're losing what makes up you? Because you choose the clothes you wear because of some part of your thoughts and your processes and who you are as a person.
Right.
And so you would be wearing an imposter's outfit.
Yes and no, and it depends on how you look at it. Like, let me think about this. Well, first of all, I'm a promotional worker, so I've worn all sorts of weird outfits
For
before.
money.
Absolutely for money, yes. I've worn skin-coloured underwear and nothing else, and body paint, beg pardon.
Right.
I've worn Jester's outfits. I've worn skin. I wore the Kathy Freeman skin-tight lycra running suit at one point.
Right.
So there's not a lot that I won't wear.
For money.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, for money. But
So this isn't for money. This is...
yeah, no, I know. But what
People
you're
would be
saying,
judging you as you walk down the
yeah,
road.
what you're saying kind of has two meanings, because the third meaning is the clothes we wear mean nothing. You know, that's the, I guess, almost ideal. We are not the clothes we wear. We are our personalities and our relationships and whatever. So to say that maybe wearing the clothes that we wear typifies us as a certain type of person is, you know, very valid. So maybe we are selling ourselves differently if we're wearing certain styles or the latest fashions. But once again, it doesn't affect our personality, our relationships, and whatever. But it also implies, though, that we're using clothes to make such a statement about ourselves. And I mean, look, I don't think we need to do that either. I mean, this is where it all falls apart, I guess. I would wear what's in fashion if I thought it was good, if I thought it looked good on me. I wouldn't choose not to wear it because it's in fashion. I'm not one of those people. I'm not one of these people that would go for fashion or go against fashion, or would necessarily would necessarily wear stuff to make any kind of political, or not political as in parties, but, you know, statement of any kind. But I would wear clothes that I, with my personality, like to wear. Do you get the distinction?
Yeah.
So if I had to wear them, if I could make them look good, and I think a lot of it with clothes is making it work. You know, like skinny jeans, the big reason is I look at skinny jeans and say, I could never pull this off. And look, man, some of the goth fashion is absolutely incredible. But once again, I'd never be able to pull it off because I'd be, you know, walking around smiling, waving at people while dressed as a depressed goth. I wouldn't be able to pull it off. And you see that sometimes with people, especially people that get new clothes. They kind of look really awkward in their finery. And you can tell they're not comfortable in their clothes. They're not making it work for them. So if I had the latest fashion and could pull it off, first of all, look like I belong in that outfit and not just in a costume, and if I could look in the mirror and say I look pretty good, that's all I need. But right now, flared jeans.
I remember in high school, I was standing with a mate outside, and we watched. Whoa, almost killed your glass coffee table there. We were watching someone walk by they were dressed a particular way. They had particular clothes on, not just your sort of run of the mill.
Right.
And I made a comment about this person and their clothes. And maybe it was kind of judgmental. And my friend said to me, you know, you can't judge someone because of the way they're dressed. And I thought, well, you kind of can, because if they didn't care what they wore, if they weren't, you know, if their clothes weren't a product of their not just their personality, but what they wanted to be perceived as, wouldn't you just wear the cheapest, most practical option?
No.
Or whatever
No,
you were handed
because-
down? Wouldn't that be the way that you'd go?
And you see that all the time. I mean, it may sound like I'm about to flip-flop on what I just said, so you'll have to bear with
Edit
me.
it
And
out.
no, you could count the number of times I contradict myself on like a counter. But it still goes back to people wear the stuff they like to look at, which is why you see all these old people with t-shirts with jokes on them. Terrible jokes.
Really?
Have you
I've never seen this.
Oh,
People
jokes
wearing
or-
joke t-shirts.
Or like trying to be very funny comments or fuck it, like people with like no fat chicks t-shirts on, you know, like all sorts somewhere. And that speaks to their personality, but it's still, it's, they're not saying I don't like fat chicks. They're saying this t-shirt makes me happy. And when I look at it, I like it. So in a way, yeah, they're sharing their personality, but it also goes back to what they think looks good. Like they're not going to wear a bra, like a fat guy, an old guy isn't going to wear a bra that says no fat chicks just because it says no fat chicks, or if it's in a goth style or whatever, you know, they've got to put it on and say, this is me.
Right. So, yeah, I think my friend was wrong.
I think, yeah, I
you
agree.
can
with,
judge somebody.
I agree with you, and that definitely contradicts what I just said. But what does this say about you and me then? Are we're does that mean we're not with the times, or does it mean that we're rebelling against something?
No, I think
the latest trends. What's happening?
No, I mean, as you said before, we just sometimes don't appreciate the latest trends, and we wear what we like the look of.
But okay, so
and even
so
then,
are you saying there's a difference then between people? Okay, maybe you're opening my eyes. Then you're saying there's a difference between people that wear what they think looks good on them and people that wear just what's in fashion.
Oh, I mean, yes, those two different people, I guess, yeah, there is.
Right, okay, oh, yeah, I didn't even stop to think about that. There you go. That's awful then. That's really awful, because then people are walking around going, I think I look like a cunt, but everyone else thinks I look great.
Well,
and then we get back to me in my flesh-coloured underwear, I guess.
It looks like he has a cunt. But actually...
Oh.